What is good, team? We are in last session of the week, hamstrings, delts, arms, which is like the last hard session as we move into peak week, right? Our show's in like 8 days. So peak week officially kicks off as of like yesterday because it was 7 days to the weigh-in. So it's probably be the last really hard session, and then we'll start deloading into next week. So rest day tomorrow. I've got a little bit extra carbs today and tomorrow, potentially Monday as well. And then it'll be a training deload for the remainder of the week. So likely probably a couple of light sessions and then a few days off as we sort of allow for travel time and making weight and all that kind of stuff. And then do have the ability to have maybe a little session on the Saturday because we do have that 48-hour weigh-in. So we can probably train on Saturday, get some carbs in, have a bit of fun. It'll be the first time we'll kind of maybe have a little different approach to this show because we do have the ability to kind of eat into the show, which will be fun. So this will be last warm-up set here. 3 sets of seated hamstring curls before we move on to 1 set of the RDLs. So see how this one feels, and then we'll choose a working load from here. Oh yeah, that feels good. All right, it is about that time, people. Leg curls done, onto RDLs. This will be the last heavy RDLs that we have in this program before show. So taking a little load progression off last week, 175 last week, up to 180 this week, so 5 kilos up. And this will be a PR, big PR. Deltless PR too. Nothing more to do it. Well, nothing more to do than do it, right? So we'll fucking get after it. At least 6 reps here, and then we move on to some upper body stuff. Yes, we'll take that. 6 reps, beltless PR. That felt really good. Whew, despite being absolutely mangled. I've had 1 carb meal, so it certainly helped to some degree. Legs done. Shoulder press next. Now I gotta walk down the stairs, that's the fun part. RDL's fried me, but we're good now. Onto shoulder press. So I had these last week, 2 sets. I got 13 and 11. My general rule of thumb is if I go above my rep target on the first set, then I will increase the load. So I've just gone up 5 kilos. aiming for anywhere between 8 and 12 on the first set, and then whatever I get on that second set, like I spoke about in yesterday's video, kind of stopping out at that like 2 to 3 hour, wherever that ends up. Probably somewhere in the maybe 8 to 10 first set, maybe 10 or 12, we'll see. All right, we'll take 10 on that first one. If I get 8 or 9 on the second one, I'll be very happy. Reps there. So I guess that's a good point to bring up around like loading your sets. Your first set should always be your best set. So in terms of load exposure, in terms of rep performance, it should be your heaviest and hardest set, and typically for the most reps. So rather than doing like a lighter set first for more reps and then adding load for your second set where fatigue will accumulate, your performance will decrease anyway. Pick a load that has you within a close proximity to failure, 1 to 2 at your given rep target. Then as you get into your subsequent sets, so long as you stick to that RIR target, your rep performance will likely drop and you will not need to increase load. So your first set might be 12 reps at say 100 kilos, your next set might be 10 reps at 100 kilos. So the reps will just drop off as fatigue accumulates. So that for your next session, all you need to do is increase the load across both working sets and either just chase reps from there, or if you are at the top end of your rep bracket, you can just continue adding load until you sort of reach the top end of the rep bracket or go above, and just continue in that fashion, either more reps or more load each week. So I didn't get to do JM press in my last push session, and I actually did tricep push down. So rather than just doing the same exercise that I did the other day, I'll go onto my JM press that I didn't do the other day. But I think that's the beauty of just being like flexible in your approach. So long as the work gets done throughout the week, it doesn't really matter when you do it. So if you have like a specific exercise on one day and you can't do it just because of equipment availability, or you just can't get access to it for whatever reason, you can do it later in the week. It doesn't really matter. So long as a similar movement pattern is being trained, so long as you are doing it at some point throughout your training week, so long as effort is maintained, it doesn't really matter. So if I can't do this earlier in the week, I'll do it later in the week. Or if I can't do it later in the week, I'll do it in my next session. It doesn't really matter. Even if I tack it onto like a leg session or something like that, it doesn't matter. I think that's one thing that people get far too like consumed by, is just being overly perfect when it comes to their program design and doing everything exactly as is in their program. And if they can't get a certain exercise at the start of the session, the whole session's fucked. When in reality, if you just do similar stuff, the same load-ish, within the same proximity to failure, you're getting most of the work done. So in reality, it doesn't matter. But one set here, 5 kilo low jump from last time I did JM press, aiming for around 8 to 12 reps. Hell yeah, 5 kilos up. Same reps as last time. Probably a little closer to failure, but meh. We've got deload next week. And arms to fail isn't really going to impede my recovery that much, so life is good. Triceps done on the compound JM press. Next is supposed to be single arm archer extensions. Now, you guys know I love my unilateral movements, but they do take quite a lot of time. So when you're in a time pinch, I think single arm stuff can be tricky. So instead, I'm just opting for a similar movement pattern, overhead tricep extension, but we've got a really cool Panada overhead tricep extension machine. So I'm just gonna knock out 2 sets here, and then I've got some preacher curls again, which was single arm, but I've got an appointment in like 45 minutes that I need to walk to. It's like a 15-minute walk. So I'll probably just do some double arm preacher curls and then move on to lateral raises to finish off. That felt really good. Alrighty. So as I mentioned, because we're in a time crunch, we're just moving to bilateral movements and omitting the single arm movements for today. So 2 sets done on the overhead tricep extensions. Last set here now on the machine, preacher curl. I actually have been using this one. This is the Strive machine, which I've really been loving, but I'm just gonna do it bilateral this time. So I've still got middle peg loaded, keeping the resistance profile pretty even throughout. But last set here, aiming for around 10 to 12 reps, and then some lateral raises, which I may use just the standing machine lateral raise if I can grab it. I'm just gonna do a rest pause on there, so it'll be 1 leading set and 2 rest pause sets. Right, so we're on the Panada standing lateral raise machine. And again, with today's theme of time crunch, rest pause. So it's supposed to be 3 working sets. We know that from the hypertrophy literature, there is no drawbacks to utilizing things like rest pauses, drop sets in terms of hypertrophy outcomes. The rest pause, I can get 3 working sets of like stimulus done in the space of like 1. So basically just aiming for a lead-in set, 10 to 15 reps, and then 2 rest pauses after that. If I get anywhere between 5 and 10 on those rest pauses, I'll be very happy. All right, so we got 15 on the lead-in set, 6 on the first rest pause, 4 on the second rest pause. And that is done. I got 3 sets worth of work done in about a minute. So that is me done and dusted, guys, for this hams, delts and arm session. But as always, if you get any value from this content at all, please make sure you like, comment, share, most importantly, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in here for Monday's upper body session, which will be the lead up to Poland, which is very exciting. So see you guys then. Peace.